Greetings and welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I am Dr. Loquitur, Maka, and thank you so much for the love. Thank you for the support. If you are new to this channel, please do subscribe. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back, welcome back. Please, guys, don't forget to like the video. Please share it with your people, your friends, your classmates, your siblings, your colleagues, and everyone who you think the video might assist. We are back with another segment, part 2 of question paper, Agricultural Sciences, paper 1, 2023. So on the previous video, we only did paper question 1, question 1 and question 2. So now we will be doing question 3, which is animal production, protection, as well as control. So let's just get to it. Let's not waste time. Once again, please make sure that you subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please like the video. So you have two pictures here, picture A and picture B. So question 3.1, the pictures below refer to a production system in pigs. Right. Now indicate A, the production system used by the pig farmer represented by picture A above. Right. So basically this is an intensive production system. Now, why are we saying it's an intensive production system? We can see here that this kind of a system, the animals are kept there indoors, they are kept in a controlled environment, and they are often in this particular production system, what happens there is the farmers will feed the animals feed that contains high energy, or the diet that contains high energy, and this is basically to maximize production efficiency. And also this most of the time is seen in commercial farming. Right. And then we have the next question, an example of the pig production system represented in picture B above. Now, this is a free range system. And why am I saying this is a free range system? You can see for yourself in this picture that these animals, they are actually allowed to roam around in this field, and they are not confined in any pen as compared to the next picture. So now this is your time now where you have to think of different production systems and also make your comparison. But now remember, for this particular picture, you are not asked to explain like I am doing. So what you need to do is to just name the production system. What is it? So A, picture A, it's an intensive production system. Then you get your mark. That's it. B, what is it? It's a free range system. You get your mark. Now, coming to the next question, 3.1.2. Identify the animal handling facility in picture A. Right? So now, if you look closely to this picture, right, there are piglets, and the sow is actually in a particular facility. So that is the facility that you actually have to identify. So now, what is that facility? So now we call this facility a farrowing pen, or what is referred to as a crate. Now, this is basically designed to provide a safe environment for the sows, which are female pigs. In most cases, it's used when they are going to give birth, and maybe when they have given birth already and they are raising their piglets. Now, this helps them to prevent it actually prevents them from crushing the piglets or the young ones, right? But now remember, on that question, you were not asked to give reasons. I'm just giving you reasons. Now, I'm just explaining this to you, right? Then give one reason now. That is the next question, you see? So it's very important to read the question carefully. So now you are asked to actually give one reason for housing pigs in the facility pictured in A. So basically, this is what I have just explained when I was explaining the farrowing pen or the crate, right? So there you can simply say one reason maybe could be to prevent sows from rolling over the piglets, which can lead to accidental deaths. It also facilitates easier management of piglets, allowing farmers to monitor their health closely. So again, you will know by now, I'm one of those Gebandase who did my high school SSS, Mount Frey SSS. That's where I come from. So again, your English is your English. How you put it, that is yours. However, one thing I always say, make sure that you explain it properly. Make sure that the examiner understands what you are saying. So if you are asked for the reason, you can say it prevents sows or the female pigs from rolling over the piglets, and this can lead to accidental deaths. So, or maybe you can say it prevents the accidental deaths of the piglets or the young ones, which can be caused by sows from rolling over them. However you put it, that is your own, that will be your own explanation. Fine. Then we move on to the second one. So deduce two factors from picture A that contribute to increased production. So again, there you look at that picture A. So if you notice here, most of the questions come from the first diagram, right? So now, again, you have to go back or to think about what you were told. And one of the things I always say is you do not have to memorize from what you are taught or what your textbook tells you, but because you can see what is indicated in the picture, now come to think of the factors that can actually contribute to what you are being asked. So now we said picture A is the farrowing pen, or it's the crate. Now this is designed to provide a safe environment for sows, right? And it helps them not to crush the young ones, right? Now, one of the factors could be basically to provide a clean as well as a comfortable space, which can actually reduce stress and also to improve health. That is one of the factors. Then the other factors could be regarding nutrition. Now, what about nutrition? So it can help the farmer to ensure that the sows have enough energy, and also they provide them with nutrients. And now this is not only for the sows, this also helps for the piglets or for the young ones, right? So then the other factor that you can think of, obviously you were asked for two, but I'm gonna provide more because I told you I'm here for you. Then the other one could be to ensure that there is effective management practices. And also you can also talk about breeding. Ensure that there is good breeding practice in place. Now this can actually enhance the genetic quality of these pigs. And also now this, once there is quality of these pigs, or there's good breeding practices, this can actually lead to better growth rates as well as better health. So it's up to you how you want to put or which factors you can think of at that particular time. So already I have given 4, but the question was only asking for 2. Now, moving to the next one. Choose an explanation from the list below that matches the animal behavior in questions 3.2.1 to 3.2.5. Write only the letter which is from A to E next to the question number. Now you are given 5 options there. A, see shadow on their path of vision area. B, normal maternal behavior. C, normal animal behavior. D, animals establish their dominance in the flock. E, normal reproductive behavior. Now, coming to the questions now. So these are the options that we have. So what do you need to do in this case? You only select based on the description or the explanation that you have been given. You select the best answer, right? Or you select the letter that matches the animal behavior, right? So female animals in the head mount other females and allow other animals to mount them. Now, looking from these options that we have, obviously, when you think of female animals that will mount other animals, obviously that will tell you that, okay, one of these female animals is on heat. So that has to do with the reproduction. And from these options that we have, there is only one option that talks of reproduction. So we will go with E, which means, which says normal reproductive behavior. Right, so because this is one of the symptoms when the animals are on heat, right? Then moving on to the next one, a flock of animals look healthy and graze calmly on natural pasture. Right, again, so this is about a flock of animals. They are not bothered. They don't care about what says what and who says what, who does what. They are just grazing nicely on their natural pastures, right? So obviously we have scratched E. We don't have E there. We have scratched it out. So now looking at these options that we have, the best option that we can select there is option C, which is normal animal behavior. Right. Then moving to the next one, animals head-butting each other. But looking at these options that we have, because obviously the first one speaks of the shadow and their vision area. The second one speaks of maternal behavior, and we said we have scratched number C, which is the third one, and we have also scratched the last one. So now, because these animals, they are head-butting each other. Again, and it looks like the best possible option there is animals which are establishing their dominance in the flock. Right. Then you scratch that one. So you have 2 options now left. You have 2 questions left, or descriptions or explanations left. And then you have 2 options left. Now, animals do not want to enter a gate leading to a passage area. So now, because you have 2, maybe let's read the next one as well. Animals become aggressive after giving birth. So if it was me, I would start with that one, because that one is obvious. We have only options A and B left. Right? So B, it's a normal maternal behavior. Obviously, just like humans, I always say this, guys, if you are writing agriculture, some of the things you also, especially if you are a learner who also does life sciences, because you are used to the reproduction system in life sciences, these things are the same. The behaviors and also the characteristics sometimes of animals are similar to human beings. So if animals become aggressive after giving birth, obviously there you have a hint which is giving birth. Then that tells you that it has to do with maternal issues. Now the option that you have there under B is normal maternal behavior. So that one is out. Then Animals do not want to enter the gate, and obviously we only have one option. Then it means that one is A, which is they see shadow on their path or vision area. Right, let's continue now. There's a picture there, which is one of the handling facilities. So this whole question is all about farm animal facilities which are used in animal production system, right? Remember, this question is all about question 3, guys. Keep in mind, always know that question 3 will always have your animal production, animal protection, as well as animal control. So you've got a handling facility there. Now, take your time looking at that picture. But again, one thing I always tell you is that you only have 2 hours 30 minutes for this paper. So ensure when you are practicing, you time yourself accordingly. You don't want to lose marks, and you don't want to spend time reading questions. Yes, it's important to ensure that you read questions properly, but also make sure that you practice your speed of writing, because it will happen that you spend more time reading and thinking of the correct answer. Now let's look at this. Now this question is identify facilities A and B. So now we see a kettle there, right, in this facility. Now if you look at this facility, this is a crush. Now this kind of a facility, which is A, and then the label on B, that is the head gate or the neck clamp. So whichever one, or even with a crush, you can also say it's a chute, right? So you are not asked to explain there, you just identify these parts of this facility, right? Now the crush is basically used to restrain the animals, whether it's for safety or for veterinary procedures, or maybe for artificial insemination and other farm procedures. Then the neck clamp now is mostly used to hold the animal's head in place, because we know if you are dealing with cattle, whether it's a cow or it's a bull, most of the time they can overpower farmers if their head is not in place, right? So now you are only asked to identify. You do not give explanations. Don't waste your time giving explanation. Just identify. So A, it's a crush. B, it's a neck clamp. Right. Now indicate the purpose of using facility B. Obviously, I have just mentioned this now. So it's used to restrain the farm animals, and this allows the handlers or the farmers or the vet, whoever is doing that procedure, to ensure that the task they are performing are administered safely, and then give 2 reasons for handling farm animals using these facilities above. Once again, I have mentioned this when I was explaining or when I was identifying A and B. But again, one of the things that you can mention there is for management practices. So these can be used for procedures like artificial insemination, docking, castration, and you can think of others. And also, let's say for diagnosis or when you want to vaccinate the animals, this facility can also be used. Or when you want to check certain diseases in that particular animal, this can be used. State 2 basic requirements for transporting farm animals. Obviously, This again, this is one of the questions that you do not have to crack your head when you are thinking about that. Just have a picture of, if I am transporting cows from this farm to the market, now what do I need to do to ensure that these cattle arrive there safely? So if I was the one answering this, obviously the first thing that needs to come to mind is, if you're moving animals from their like normal place where they are used to, they get stressed. That is the first thing. So now you need to ensure that you do not use a road that is busy, right? You try and ensure, or maybe you cover the trucks that you will be using, so that they don't see a lot that is happening on the outside. So make sure you do not transport them during busy road conditions, and especially if they're gonna go for long distances. And also make sure you separate them according to their ages, according to their sizes, according to sex. Now, this can also ensure that you avoid any stress and also aggressive behaviors that can come with them. And then the other thing that you need to ensure is, with this transport that you're using, make sure there are no sharp edges, so that these animals are not hurt or injured. Make sure that the floor is not slippery, and make sure that you provide enough feed, provide enough water, so that they do not become dehydrated, because that can also cause stress. So you can think of anything and everything. That this is one of those questions that you don't have to think of, oh my God, what does the textbook say? No, you don't have to stress yourself about that. Now let's move to 3.5. So a mosquito-borne viral disease. So you are given a scenario here, right? A mosquito-borne viral disease that affects sheep, cattle, goats, causes abortion, blood-stained nasal discharge, and diarrhea, which may lead to death of farm animals. People can get infected if they handle blood, tissues, or other body fluids of animals that are infected with this disease. Farmers should alert authorities if they suspect that the animals are infected with the disease on their farm. Now, this takes you back to the viral diseases that you were taught, right, in class. So now, already you have been given symptoms there. Already you have been given symptoms. Now, you have to, the first question they ask, name the disease described in the scenario above. So this kind of a disease is Rift Valley fever. Now, obviously, by now you will know the different diseases that you were taught. Now, I'm glad that I'm actually doing this on time before you even write your final exam, because it's one of the things that you really need to pay attention to. All right, now identify an example of each of the following in the scenario above. So A, you are given a vector, and B, you are given a pathogen. So you have been given a scenario. So what is a vector there? Now, the vector in this case is the mosquito. Now, remember, the scenario even tells you a mosquito-borne virus disease. So the vector there is the mosquito, right? Now, this insect basically is the one that transmits the virus to animals. Then you have the pathogen. Now, this is the causative agent. Now, this is the virus itself, right? The pathogen in this case is the pathogen in this case is the virus itself, right? Now, moving to the next one. The disease in the scenario above is deemed notifiable. Justify this statement, right? So now you just give a justification there. So the justification could just be that the disease is considered highly transmittable and poses a significant risk to livestock health, leading to economic impacts. So you have been given it already, right? Now, 3.5.4. Give a term for the description which indicates that the disease can infect people if they handle infected blood, tissues, and other body fluids. Right. So now, again, this takes you back to the terms that you were given. I'm actually going to explain some of these concepts just at the end of this question. Right? So we have the term. Let me actually not explain at the end. So we have what we call zoonosis. Right? Now, this concept basically refers to diseases that can be transmitted between animals and human beings. So it's really important to understand zoonotic diseases because not only to keep humans safe, but also to ensure that the animals are also kept safe and there is management in such diseases, right? Now, looking at this question, so basically, this particular one, the term that best describes this is zoonotic, right? Suggest two economic implications of animal diseases to a farmer. Anyway, guys, I hope you have water next to you and your pens and paper are still with you and you are following through. If you're still with me here, please just make sure you drop a comment of how you're feeling. Even if it's just an emoji, just let me know. So, two economic implications of animal diseases. What could be those? So now, one of them could actually be the loss of income. Because if you lose livestock as a farmer, this can actually reduce the productivity and also the income in the farm. And also, what can happen is you might find yourself having increased costs, especially now because you will have to buy additional treatment or medication or even vaccinations for these animals, and that can impact in the finances of the farm. Right. Now, let's move to the next question. So here's one thing that I want to suggest as we are continuing with this session. I want to task you, when you are practicing these questions, you also practice with people who are doing life sciences. If you are one of those who's like me, when I was in high school, I did both life sciences as well as agricultural sciences, and it made life easier because the concepts are the same, just that on the other one, we're talking about human beings, and then on the other one, we are talking about animals. Just like this question here, question 3.6. The diagram below shows the life cycle of a parasite. So, a similar question, you will find it, like the life cycles, you will find it in life sciences. So, that's why I'm saying when you are practicing, ensure that you also practice with those who are doing life sciences so that you help each other understand the concepts better and just find it easy for you to answer these questions. So you have been given a life cycle there of a parasite. Right. Now, classify the parasite above according to the life cycle. I hope you can actually see what is happening there. So we've got the host there, an adult. Okay, the adult attached to the host. We don't have one host. So there's a cow there. There's also a rabbit there. Right? So and also there are other different parasites. But two animals that you can see there, it's basically the cow or the cattle. Yeah, it looks like a cow. It's not a bull. I don't know, but it's fine. It's a cattle. Let's use the correct term, right? So we've got a rabbit there and a cattle, right? Now, if you look at this type of a life cycle and these parasites, that there are different parasites in the cycle. So how do you classify this? So this can basically be classified as a two host life cycles, and this is because it requires two different hosts for its development. Now, then the next question. Remember, the first question, I've given you the reason already. The second question now, or the next question, you are asked the reason. Now remember, I'm giving you these reasons, even if you are not being asked, so that we make things easier, because this is revision. We are not writing an exam now. We are still revising and trying to understand the concepts, right? So now your reason there will be basically what I have just explained. So this type of parasite actually needs two hosts. So as I have said, you have two hosts there. One is a cow and then the other one is a rabbit. So it needs two hosts to actually complete its cycle. Now, identify 3 stages in the life cycle of the parasite above. Even on that one, it's there. So you've got adult, you've got eggs, then you have the larva. So those are the common stages. Already they are there on that diagram. You don't have to think much. Right, then moving on, the second last question before we take a break. So below is a list of internal parasites that affect farm animals. So you have been given a tapeworm, you have been given a liver fluke, and you have been given a roundworm, right? Now, so we have a tapeworm, we have a liver fluke and a roundworm. Right, fine. Now choose the parasite above that matches each of the following descriptions, right? So the first one, very easy, guys. Like you don't even have to think about this one. Very easy. So it causes nodules in the liver. So obviously that one is the liver fluke. Right? B, it does not need an intermediate host. Right? Now, again, this is the time, if you don't know the exact answer, then you have to think a little bit. Just spend a few minutes thinking about the symptoms now of this of someone or the animals who is infected by these parasites, right? Then in this case, for this one, this is the roundworm. So the roundworms do not require intermediate host for their life cycles, right? Then now, the last one, we only have one left. Heavy infestation causes pot belly and appearance of procolitis in feces, right? Then this one is the tapeworm, right? Then the last question before you bag your 35 marks, ne? State 2 basic principles of good health that a farmer can apply to control internal parasites. Again, this is one of the questions, guys, that you do not have to crack your head. You do not have to think what the textbook says. You see your focus textbook and you study and master, or whichever, via Africa, whichever textbook that you are using. This is the time that you don't have to worry about what is written there. But now, actually, just think carefully about what is it that if I was a farmer and I want to ensure that there is good health in these animals, what are the basic principles that I should apply to ensure that I control the parasites? So the first thing, obviously, and this is one of the things, especially when it comes to animals and especially when it comes to poultry, because you never know. One of the questions maybe can be directed to poultry animals. Good hygiene is one of them. Sanitation, good sanitation and hygiene is one of them. So ensure that the housing of these animals is always clean and the feeding areas are always clean. Now, this will ensure that you prevent the spreading of the diseases. And then another thing that you can do is to ensure that there is rotational grazing. So if you have different plots, this can help to actually control the populations of these parasites. Just move the animals in different camps so that they can be controlled. So anyway, guys, I want you to take a break from here. We're almost 40 minutes, guys. 40 minutes on just one question. But again, this is also because there was explanation, but I just want you to take a break. Try to regurgitate what we have talked about. Make sure that maybe you pause from here and check your answers. If you are following and have questions for me, then you can write those questions. And then we're going to move to the next one, which is animal reproduction. Anyway, I have a video on animal reproduction. You can also check that one out. And again, this is also one of the questions that I always encourage you. If you're someone doing life sciences, don't think it's different from the reproduction of humans. This is the same thing. It's just that the diagrams obviously are going to be differently. However, the functions and some of the behaviors in animals are similar to that of human beings. So yeah, guys, let's take a break. We'll be back in a few.